Hey everybody, Sandy Hodgkins here from West Meadow Farm, and I wanted to go over this week's highlights. So I've been working on a combination of what I learned with Linda Pirelli and Joe Walter, and Gus's stop is really getting super nice. You can see at the end he still leans forward, but it's still a really nice feel. And it's always fun to watch these guys coming in from the field, and it's fun to see that they go to their right paddock. So they could go in the first paddock, but that's a different group of horses, and they know to go in the second paddock. There he goes. Now we'll try the trot. What does this mean? Very good. So I'm either directing or I'm driving. There's a directing. Very good. Now I'm going to do that change of direction. I'm going to back up, draw the nose, direct the nose. So what does this mean to you? Not very much. Good. Good. He gives you slack, you take the slack. This whole thing is a feel following a feel. You got to feel to him, and he's got to feel back to you. And he's got to meet you halfway. Yeah. Look what happened because you didn't believe me. But you got to remember to be believable. Then we had some new neighbors stop in to see the horses. And with Gus, I've been working on backing and then leaving at a canter. So really focusing on my reins mean to back up, and my body, my seat, my legs mean to go forward. And it's his job to prepare himself for which direction we're headed. All I'm saying is go. And then I got Rocky out in that big field. We went out there alone and played around. And then if you guys remember that gentleman, Jim, who came for lessons, he came back and I got him on Gus and we just had some fun riding. And so he's a real quick learner. So we rode around the arena and then I says, well, we can do that trail up behind the house if you want. And he really enjoyed it. I was really proud of Gus too. And then again, working on that stop with Rocky, some of what we learned with Joe Walter. And then this is another group of horses coming in from the field. And again, I always like to see what are they gonna do? Which paddock are they gonna go into? And they went in their correct paddock. This is something I was experimenting with Gus. We've got a really good connection on the ground. So I was playing with how can I get this same connection from your back? And that's kind of like if I was holding the reins in my hand. So this is something that we learned at the Joe Walter Clinic. Kind of, I guess it's more about getting them out of balance with their feet and causing them to stop. And then if they don't stop, we back up. And then we can work on our backing up. And then we'll try again. And then using that, boy, to get a stop is really nice. And then I took West Wind out in that big field and we worked on our flying lead changes and straightness. This is another horse that had been in here and he had it turned out he had some severe ulcers and he learned that rearing was the thing to do to unload the rider. So that's kind of his go-to thing. And so we broke it down and went back to the beginning about, you know, can we direct or drive? So you're doing one or the other. So just to get his feet in motion, we were working on her kind of just doing a little bit of driving with her legs. And we had just started the process and he wanted to lay down. I said, you better do something. And he wasn't really impressed with not being able to lay down. And so he went to his go-to thing. And then the owner and I, we talked about her having a choice. She has a choice, just like our horses have choices. we want to give our horses choices. I said, you can, if you don't feel comfortable staying aboard, then you can just slide off and let's work on something that might be a little harder for him. How about going sideways? And then she got back on and we were working on some stuff about talking with the feet. And then you can kind of see some resistance there. And then he got back to that spot where he really wanted to lay down. And this time, she just got off and went to a spot where she could work on that sideways stuff and getting that sideways better. And then she got back on. And there was a really big change in the horse. And then we could really work on, once the feet were in motion, how to direct the feet and get in time with the feet. And it was really cool to see the change in this horse. And then directing the feet to the stop. Then we went to the Centipede Mountain Craftsman's Festival. And then this is an interview that I added in here with Tom Dorrance. And although I never met Tom, it's a pretty,
but there would be some
cool,
people that would be
interview that they did with
maybe
him.
a little bored
I
with
hope
it.
you
They
enjoy
wouldn't
it.
understand what greatness they were in the presence of, and it might not mean much to some, but there would be some people that would sure like to have that opportunity that I had. Yeah, and Ray, for that matter.
Ray Hunt was Buck Brannaman's mentor. Just as Buck looked up to Ray, Ray looked up to Tom.
It was in 1960 when I first met Ray Hunt. And there's a little bit in the book there about that.
Where did you meet Ray?
At Elko, Nevada County Fair, September 1960.
What were you doing at the county fair?
Oh, I was just there looking around a little bit.
And what was Ray doing there?
He had 2 horses there showing in the stock horse class. He was living in California at that time. He had worked in Nevada before and moved to California maybe a couple of years before that. And he had a horse that he told me about. I think it was a 5-year-old horse that had some bad experiences before he got him. And he said that the things that seemed to have worked on other horses for him didn't seem to be making it with this horse. And he said he was kind of lost to know where to go from there. And he was a real troubled horse. Good material, but he was scared. And with all the good that Ray had, it was just a matter of helping the 2 of them get together. And he made good progress with the horse. That was in January, and in April he went to his first horse show, Woodside, California. He won the Hackamore class. And he won several other shows that summer. The last one of the season was at the Cow Palace. He won the Hackamore class there. Honda was the horse's name. And with all the good that Ray had going for him before we met, it was real rewarding to have had the experience of getting to work with him. And it seemed like that he could pick up on the smallest clue and put it to work in the right direction for the benefit of the horse and himself in a very short time. I've never experienced anyone during my whole life that could do what he's done.
What did you have Ray do with Hondo to get him headed in the right direction and overcome his fears?
Well, I don't know how many people have asked me that question.